2, 1. Okay, I think it's recording.
Yes.
Alrighty. So let me share my presentation. Here you go. So welcome to our computer science learning event. We are focusing on news literacy because it's News Literacy Week. And we have a special guest, but let me start off first with, if you're waiting, let us know what you're doing here, what brings you here, and what is your role at your office or school. And then I'd like to introduce ourselves and our special guest. So I'll let Faith go first.
Okay.
Because, yeah, I'll let her go first.
Hi, everybody. So Janine and I are from the Office of Curriculum and Instructional Design. We're both on the computer science team, and we're really happy that you're able to join us today. And we have a very special guest whom I'm let Janine introduce.
All right. So I'm going to go back to my screen here before I can do this. I can see what it is. Okay, so Shaylin Ikaruina Lei, which represents enlightenment as a welcome in Hawaii. There you
Thank
go.
you so much, Janine. I love it. Thank you, everyone.
You're
Hello.
welcome.
Perfect. That was perfect.
Okay, and so I'll let Shaylin introduce herself. If she's ready. Are you ready,
I
Shaylin?
am ready. Yes.
Okay.
Surprise! I'm coming to you live from Epcot. My name's Shaylin Farnsworth, and if you can hear the music in the background, it's because I am at Epcot right now. And I am an educator from Iowa, and I work for the News Literacy Project. Right now, I'm here at FETC, a large technology conference in Florida. So that's where I'm zooming to you from. I was so excited about this opportunity that I thought, okay, I'm not going to miss this one. I'm going to join. And that's where I'm coming to you from. So, hello, everyone. And we are so glad that you are here. Now, Janine, did you want to control the slides for me, or would you like me to take them over?
I will let you take them over. There's somebody with background noise, so I'm trying to find out who that is. Would you like to take over the slides? Shaylin, are you ready? Alrighty. Hey, while you're all waiting though, for Shaylin to get set up, in the chat, could you put down where you get your information from? Where do you get your information from for the news? Okay. And I'm going to mute everyone who's not speaking because we're getting some background noise. Okay. So could you in the chat put down where you get your news from and where do you think your students get their news from? And
So
then in the
Terry
chat, I will
said HNN app, and Thad said Vox, Guardian, and Star Advertiser.com online.
Okay, and I'm also putting the link to the agenda into the chat. Okay.
And Mickey gets her news from the radio and social media, Facebook. And David is from work email. Natek from NPR, Washington Post, Facebook. Students from social media.
Yeah, I always think this is such an interesting question, especially when I think about my own kids. I have a senior this year. He is graduating, and I have a daughter who's in 8th grade. And I think that they get most of their news and information from TikTok. I don't know about you if you have students on TikTok, but my kids are constantly bringing information to me from TikTok.
Hey, Shaylin, thank you for sharing that. Would you be able to go back one slide?
Yes.
Sorry, we're a little out of order here, but it's okay. We're flexible. Here is the agenda for today, and I put the link into the chat. So any links and the presentation itself the link to that will be in the chat. So if some of you could help us out, if we have people joining us late and we're busy, monitoring the chat and, doing what we do as facilitators, if you could put the link to the agenda into the chat, if we forget to do it or someone comes in late and wants to know, like, how do I get the presentation or the links? Okay, there you go. Thank you. Okay, next slide. Okay, so there, Faith read some of the chat comments. Like, where do you get your news from? Where do your students get their news from? Shaylin said her kids get it from TikTok. TikTok, can you believe that?
Yes, of all things.
Yeah.
And along with that agenda that Janine just shared and Faith's putting in the chat, I did link on a Google document that has all of the resources I'm going to share and talk about. So make sure that you check that resource, that document out. It's right on the agenda as well.
Great resources that Shaylin has for us in her document. So I put that into our agenda also. So here's some of my news sources, and Civil Beat is one of the news sources I look at. And next slide, Shaylin actually, by the way, sorry, I forgot. This is the morning responses. But Shaylin, okay, wait.
There we go.
She is so good. Okay. So anyway, the responses are in that slide, just in case you're watching the recording and can't see the chat. But I wanted to say that Shaylin actually had an article in Civil Beat this past Sunday, and it was called "We Can Solve the Misinformation Crisis with News Literacy." And she got lots of comments.
Yes, I did. I remember when you sent me, hey, it's in there. And it was just as I expect. There's a lot of people that are pro, understanding critical thinking that goes along with facts from falsehood and understanding information. And then there was others that have a misunderstanding of what we're about, not only as educators, but also as the News Literacy Project. As a former educator, I understand that. And the way to combat that is just more information, and so they are aware. It was a fabulous article. Definitely check it out, and it ties directly to the work that you all are doing on the computer science team as well.
Yes. So anyway, she did mention Naho Pena'ao, the framework for developing, the skills, behaviors, dispositions that represent our island. And one of the components of Naho Pena'ao is excellence. And, it's about quality work. And to do quality work, you have to, do your research and make sure it's the correct information and make sure you represent things accurately. So just want to share that connection. And then the next slide. It's our version 1 of our alignment with digital citizenship from Common Sense Education with Naho Pena'ao. And the third component is we are critical thinkers and creators, which focuses on news and media literacy, which is what we're focusing on today. Exploring different sides of a story, discussing fact versus opinion, choosing a variety of sources. So we're working on a version 2 of the flyer, but here's the first version. There's my niece down there, and we wanted a public school student from Hawaii. So there you go. There's my niece. Okay, next slide.
And I think this is so essential. And as I said in the article, really the state of Hawaii is leaders in this area, not only in news and media literacy, but I love that first one, encouraging healthy skepticism. I remember when I was back in the classroom in 2008, my students had information at their fingertips. We went one-to-one with computers. And, what I was taught when I was a beginning teacher using the CRAP checklist so students could find reliable sources no longer worked. And what we found was the algorithms, as they dug deeper into that website, it would continuously pull up things that were similar. And so lateral reading is really necessary in this day and age. So I love that, developing healthy skepticism and also fact versus opinion, so essential. And so bravo to you and your team and all of the educators in Hawaii that see this importance.
Alrighty. So the next slide is actually, we're going to turn it over to Shaylin, and she's going to go over some resources and a little bit about news literacy and share some TikToks with you. So here you go, Shaylin.
Thank you so much. And again, one of the one of the issues with using Google Meet is I cannot see the chat. So whatever you put in there, Faith and Janine are going to share it with me. But I love to start out with, how many of you are familiar with the News Literacy Project? Have you ever heard of us before? Have you used some of our sources? I would love to know if you would put that in the chat, how familiar you are with the News Literacy Project.
Unfamiliar. Okay, well, this is great. Maybe
That you're here.
maybe
That's
they'll
right.
learn about it today.
That's right. And like I said, back when I was in the classroom, I actually used some of the first iteration of our resources. NLP was actually founded in 2008, if you can believe it. We are a nonpartisan, nonprofit organization, and our mission is to support educators and students, and now the general public. Over the past couple of years, this has expanded with resources, programs, and support to help you develop those critical thinking skills within students, so they can be active not only in their scholastic lives, but their personal, professional, and in their civic lives as well. So that's a little bit about who we are. We were founded by a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist, partnered with Janine and Faith and their team a couple years back, and so have been working with them, supplying different information that they can share with educators, and excited to be here tonight to kick off National News Literacy Week. So they thought this was a perfect time, and it definitely is. It is National News Literacy Week, like I said, and this is an annual event. It happens every January, towards the end of January, and it's really an awareness campaign that we partner with EW Scripts to share how important it is for students to understand press freedoms, to understand fact from falsehoods, and to really equip them with those critical thinking skills. So I'm going to go ahead and share this. This is a PSA for this year about helping stop the flood of misinformation.
We're being flooded with false information. The more we mindlessly share, the more misinformation threatens us and puts our democracy at risk. But together, we can help protect our communities before it's too late. It's time to check our sources and verify our facts. Let's care before we share.
And something cool, Janine and Faith, my colleague Dara, she sent down that it was on in New York Times Square. This PSA was running today, and a focus on our National News Literacy Week. So this was at Times Square. So along with all of our programs and resources, we definitely have a collection of quick wins in the form of infographics. And I thought this would be a perfect place to start. It would show you how current our information is, but also tips and techniques that you can immediately use in your classroom tomorrow. So as you could see, this infographic is very dense. You could spend multiple days on this infographic, everything from mis and disinformation to all the different types of misinformation. There's multiple categories, because what we've realized is the term fake news has really become a catch-all for everything, and there's actually many different types and intent for mis and disinformation. So I'm going to put Janine and Faith on the spot here. I know earlier I talked about the difference between mis and disinformation, but do you remember, how would you summarize the difference between mis and disinformation? Faith, Janine?
Okay, so you brought up this example in the morning, Shaylin. My mom sends me misinformation. My mom has no ill intent. She just doesn't do her research. Yeah. But you know, somebody in Russia, somebody who's getting paid to, you know, change my mind politically, so I vote differently. That is disinformation.
Correct.
Right. When it's intentionally incorrect. Yes,
that's right. So you know, that first concept, misinformation, exactly right. My mom sends and shares things that is untrue, but she does so without an intent to harm. She truly believes what she's sharing. Disinformation, on the other hand, is intentionally incorrect and is meant to do harm. So there's a vast difference between those two.
Yes.
But like I said, there would be hours we could spend on this infographic. So I want to start with a great entry point. And one thing that students notice, whatever platform they're on, are what we call red flags. So I'm sure you have seen it before. Phrases such as "let that sink in," or "I'm sure nobody will share this," or "the media won't report on this," or "make this go viral," or "do your own research." When students see those phrases in posts, no matter the platform, it should send up a red flag. So this is a great way to start it. And again, it is my mother on Facebook that shares that. I bet you won't share this, information with your sources, or did you hear Facebook is going to own all your photos? So please cut and paste this paragraph and put it on your page. So you do not give Facebook power to do this. All of that is a red flag. And so this is a great entry point to use with students. So go ahead in the chat and let me know, have you seen any of these red flags before, such as "let that sink in," "make this go viral," all of those things?
Well, Shaylin, just letting you know in the chat, Avenue, who is my, I'm mentoring him. He said the key is intent. And then Shane, our good friend, he said he's going to have to ask his mom if her Facebook medical advice is intentional.
Yes, love it.
Yeah.
It's great. My sister and I have, put those checks and balances with my mom, and really anyone who has questions, to let us know before you, uh, cut and paste that paragraph, or reshare that post that has those red flags in it, because it could be mis or disinformation. So this is a great entry point to use with students. It makes it very accessible, because I'm sure that they've seen these all over their social media posts. And again, these are red flags, and something for students to watch out for when they're looking, reading, consuming information, and before they share it. Here's just some examples that we had pulled as part of our slide decks. As I said before, we are a nonprofit and nonpartisan, so we are very proud of that, and we teach kids how to think, not what to think. And we're very transparent in all of the resources that we share. Along with those red flags, I think another great place to start for students in particular is, what is the primary purpose of that piece of information? And what better way to engage them than with TikToks? Like I said, my own children are on TikToks. There's lots of educators on TikToks, but I'm sure all of you as well have students on TikToks. So this is a perfect place. And as Janine said, you get these slides so you can use these in your classroom. And this is a collection of TikToks that we have on our Informable app, and it shows you the relevance and the currency of all of our information that we share on Checkology and the SIFT, and other resources we have. So we're going to watch this first one. It's by the Derm Doctor. He is a famous TikToker. He is verified. You'll see that blue check mark by his name, which is another discussion point to use with students. What does the blue check mark mean? Which platforms do I see it on? But I want you to watch this quick TikTok, and I want you to ask yourself, is this an ad or not? And how do I know? Is this an ad or not? And how do I know?
The best and worst acne products. This is an absolute beast when it comes to treating acne. Your skin is not dirty, so scrubbing will actually make it worse. Benzoyl peroxide is one of the best ingredients to treat acne.
So I'm going to pause there. I'm going to blow up the text in the TikTok. You can go ahead and read it. And then in the chat, let me know, do you think this is an ad or not? And how do you know?
A lot of thinking going on.
This is a tough one.
Is this an ad? Shane says it's an ad. He is hashtagging product names. Anyone else?
Hyperboles usually indicate something. The use of hyperboles like that.
Yeah. I love starting with this one because in this case, this is actually a product review. The Derm Doctor, like I said, is all over the For You page. It should be someone familiar with students and with yourself if you are on TikTok. But he actually does a very good job of mixing his own content with any paid or sponsored ads. Here is just a product review. It's his own opinion. But sometimes those influencers, even though they have a blue check mark, bury that it's an ad or sponsored content within the text. And it's way down far, or they might not mention it at all. But this, in fact, is a product review. It's not an ad. So this is a great one to start with. All right, next one, and I pair these two together. It is the Derm Doctor again. Here's another TikTok from him. I'm going to go ahead and play it, and I want you to ask yourself, is this an ad or not, and how do I know?
The new CeraVe Hydrating Cream to Foam Cleanser. CeraVe got a new cleanser. Of course, I had to try it out, and I've been raving about this one for months. First, ignore the fact that I'm filming in my kitchen. The lighting is just much better here. I love this one because it starts out as a cream consistency, and then with the addition of water, it quickly turns into a foam. It's one of the few products that lets my skin feeling clean without overly drying or stripping my skin. Please tell me you understand the struggle. Plus, it has ceramides that help to restore my skin barrier. No secret, I love this. 10 out of 10 Derm Doctor recommended.
All right, so I am a former English teacher, and I love pair text. This is a perfect way to pair text. Here again is another TikTok from the Derm Doctor, and you notice when I blow up the text right there, it says ad right away. So we know that this is an ad as opposed to the last one that was a product review.
And
so this
yes,
is definitely an ad.
Shaylin, just want to let you know in the chat, people said ad. So
They knew it right away.
Yes, they knew. By the way, may I ask you, could you clarify the difference between an ad and a product review, just in case people don't know the difference?
So an ad and anything that's sponsored, you know, by law, these influencers are supposed to let people know that they were paid for this promotion. And sometimes, like the Derm Doctor in this case, he puts it right away in the hashtags. You can see right there. The first one, it says ad. Or if it's sponsored, it means they were paid to promote that. A product review, on the other hand, he has multiple products from all different lines, no specific company, and he does a great job using his own content along with paid or sponsored. And so he's a great one to bring up. To talk about primary purpose, again, an easy entry point, and it's something that students should know. Most of them do not read the text carefully and have no clue that it is sponsored or a paid ad. They just consume the information and don't pay attention to those small things. So, you know, taking a second to slow down, stop, check, looking for those ad or sponsored hashtags within the post really helps them understand that they were paid for this. It's a great question. All right, the next two. This is another paired text, and this one is news or opinion. So ask yourself, is this news or is this opinion? And these deal with cows.
They went into somebody's yard.
All right, so I'm going to blow up the text, and in the chat, go ahead and let us know. What do you think? Is this news or opinion, and how do I know? News or opinion, and how do I know?
So what Shane says, opinion, the clips are not necessarily connected and they appear to be from a phone, helicopter, etc. Thank you for sharing your feedback. And David says news from ABC. Natex says news, it informs.
So this one is a tricky one, and this is another one that I love to use with educators because it brings up multiple important points when talking about primary purpose. Yes, it is by ABC News. There is a check mark there, so we know it's a verified account. And verification simply means that they are who they say they are. Verification does not mean that what they say is true, and that's an important point to bring up with students. But this one is tricky because why it does show raw footage from phones or whatnot. People often ask, "Is this news worthy?" And that might be what's throwing some of us off, which is a whole other discussion. A great Checkology unit we have on newsworthiness, but this is actually news. It is a verified information. It is sharing. The music kind of throws me off a little bit, and that's where that whole newsworthiness comes into play. So this one is news. Now, we did have problems with this other one earlier, so we're going to try it and see. But this is another TikTok, and I pair these together. It is also about cows, news or opinion, and probably just from looking at it, you could already tell before I even start. But let me see if this works. I don't wanna die. Oh, it did this time. Janine, Faith, yay. So news or opinion, and here's the text blown up. And how do you know? What clues do you have when thinking about primary purpose? Is this news or opinion? And what would you point out for students or have them look for?
So I'm seeing opinion, not verified, opinion, one group's point of view.
Yep, this is definitely opinion. No verification on this account. And you'll see words such as eating meat is messed up. That should be something. Animal cruelty, save the cows. If you care about animals, then you'll watch this and share it. So a lot of red flags along with what is the purpose of this? What is the intent of this video? And it leads us to opinion. All right, one more. And this is another great one. This is the only one I don't have a text pairing for yet. But this is one where I want you to watch and I want you to ask yourself, does this TikTok show credible evidence or not? Does this TikTok show credible evidence or not?
We got everything I went through, you were standing there by my side, and now you gon' be with me for the last ride. It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it.
There's no text to blow up, but let me know what you think in the chat. Does this show credible evidence or not?
Hey, I'm Shaylin. I'm monitoring the chat, but I just want to let you know we have about 2 minutes left. So
okay,
we can go over a little, but just letting you know, some people may have to leave at in 2 minutes. And
thank you.
Nobody's putting in anything into the chat. Credible or not, folks? What do you think? No. Avenue says no.
Yes, that is an easy one.
Everybody says no.
Yes,
okay.
We have no idea if this is actually a plane heading to Wuhan, China. It could be, but there's no credible evidence to support that. So again, remember to help stop that spread of misinformation. Pause, be aware of your emotions, look for those red flags, and do a quick check. Like I said, we have so many free educator resources and programs to use in your classroom. Our most popular one is Checkology. If you're interested in that, all of the information is on that document, along with our event listing for this week, for National News Literacy Week. Tomorrow, if you are a teacher who enjoys UBD frameworks by McTighe and Wiggins, we're actually having a webinar looking at our new framework for teaching misinformation. We're going to be giving away some of Jay McTighe's books. So I know that was quick at the end. Thanks for that warning, Janine. But I want to thank everyone so much for joining us for this. And make sure if you need any of my information or need more support, you can connect with Janine and Faith, and we will be sure to support your efforts in the classroom.
So Janine, you're muted, but thank you so much, Shaylin.
Thank you. That's what I said. Thank you, Shaylin. Faith could read my lips. And everyone really appreciated all of your information and the TikTok, especially from this morning. I'm sure this afternoon. I'm going to stop the recording now, but just letting you all know that we have a feedback form. Please fill it out so we can make the next one better. And then our other slides just talk about the connections to computer science, and whoever's name is closest to Shaylin will win a prize pack. And if you're not from the Hawaii DOE, I will have to chase after you for your email address. So thank you again, Shaylin. And
Thank you so much. Thank you. And thanks for joining me from Disney World here.
Have fun at Disney World.
All right. I'll catch up with you and let you know if I see any new cool tech products coming your way. Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you. Stopping the recording.
Thank
Stopping
you.
the recording. Stop.